Hello and welcome, this is Silverox, and on today's episode we are going to be taking a look at my 3D printable Fallout 3 laser blaster. Like always, if you like this and you want to get it for yourself, then go to my Patreon at patreon.com/silveroxcraft, where you will be able to get this and many other projects like this. Also, remember to comment, rate and subscribe to my channel, it helps us a lot. Thank you and enjoy the video. So, the reason why I'm not doing a sample video on this is because I don't actually have any filament on hand to print this, and even if I were to order some, I wouldn't be on time to make a video about it. So instead I'm showing you the Blender model that I use to create the alien blaster. So I'm going to be doing this as I do with my papercraft models, and I'm going to be talking a bit about the gun itself. Now, in my STL files I provided 15 different files, all of them corresponding to a specific part of the gun, and I'll be going through those as fast as possible. So to get some out of the way, let's talk about the body first. This is obviously where the majority of the filament will go if you actually want to print something like this, and this is divided into two pieces. I made the front cover right here, and I made the back one. Now all of these were made with circular extrusions and subsurface modifiers, and originally most of these details were actually going to be detachable. I was going to create surfaces so that this would slot into the main body, but by the time I actually got to making these details, the thing was getting too complicated to build, as there are a lot of parts to it. And I'll be showing you the barrel, which is the most segmented part of this entire thing. It contains the biggest number of pieces in this entire gun. So talking about this, these are the two body pieces, the two main ones, and there we go. These two are provided in my STL files, of course. They are numbered and named so you know what pieces to glue into what order. But these two actually were the easiest to build. All this board is just a cone. Then I created the cut surfaces for it. I'm actually going to show you right now. I still have the file that contains those. As you can see, this one has specific parts jutting out of the gun itself. You can see these are just the pieces that I used to create the cuts, the inlay cuts. You can see a big one here. This is where the power cell is going to end up, but I will show you that in the other file. There we go. Obviously these are the biggest ones, but they are actually the easiest ones to put together. They're just two parts, glue them one in front of the other, and there you go. It's not complicated at all. The next part that goes alongside this is this decorative piece on the back. Now you can see right here, the hole right here that corresponds to this plug. That's the details that appears on the actual game. That was the amount of detail I was going to go with this piece. Like I said, I ultimately decided against it because, as you can see, there are a lot of pieces right here, and I felt like there was more than enough to assemble. So this one is a very simple cylinder with a few etchings on it to give some detail, nothing specific. The other piece that slots into the body, it's this fin. Now this fin actually required a bit of cutting to do. Let me show you this. There is the main slot right here that receives it, but that would mean that it would collide with this part, so I obviously had to cut that. What I didn't notice was later on, when I was exporting these, I saw that the fin actually collides with the this ridge section on the barrel. So I had to do I have to create an indent into it. Now what that means is that this actually now only has one way that it can go in, but I will be talking about this when I get to the barrel. So we can get the pieces we already took out of the way. Next one is the alien cell. Now the alien cell is, let me just show it. It's just, it looks like a canister, but there's nothing specific about it other than the detail I added on the front that's not in the game, and the handle I added a hole to it, which is also not in the game, but it's just there for detail. But if you look at this, the hole for the alien cell actually goes completely through. So what I made this plug. This is just a simple circle with a beveled inside that plugs the side of the blaster. Once again, this was the same thing I was going to do to that, and the same thing I did to this. And the ultimate one of the reasons I decided not to take the cut right here. So those were the top accessories for this thing. Now the bottom one is obviously the grip and this wrist section right here. Now this is nothing specific about it other than this slot. Now this slot is made so that if I go like this into transparency mode, you can see that it goes through this piece and into the main body, and you can see right here in the slot that the grip will go into. Once again, nothing that complicated about this, is a very simple slot. Of course, all the slots are actually bigger, you can see right here a gap, than the pieces themselves. That's for allowing for clearance, because printing the printing in PLA, for example, actually isn't 100% accurate and pieces can warp. So the other part is this grip. Now the grip is one of the parts I'm not completely satisfied with, not for the amount of detail that went into it, but for the way that I end up doing it. As you can see, I designed it so that they have to be printed in this orientation right here, and that means that is this huge raised section from the printing table. Now originally I was going to make these detachable so that they would be glued on top, but it turns out to be a lot of trouble for that, so I took the easiest route, and I said, you know, I will accept this compromise. I will take this design over the enormous amount of pieces that this would be composed of. So I can now hide that. I can now hide the body. Oh, before I hide the body, I have to show you this space right here has a small slot on the side that accepts this. I don't actually know what this is in game. It's just hanging out of the gun. It looks like a reticle, but it's below the gun, so not completely sure what this is for. So like I said before, we can hide everything, and we are left with the barrel for this. Now this is the what has the most amount of parts in the entire thing. Now just for the barrel is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces. Compare that to the body, which is just 4 pieces. 4 if you count the plug. It is a much bigger piece than the barrel is. So the barrel has obviously not counting these 3 details, the barrel itself, which is this tube, and the ridge section on the back, actually the main parts of it. Let me just hide it. You can see the barrel is what's going to slot all the way through this piece and into the main body, because as you can see, this piece has a slot that accepts the barrel, and this one has a slot as well that will accept the barrel. So this barrel will actually be attaching to the back part, so it will hold this in place considering you add this piece into it. Now this piece, like I said before, has a slot on the top that will align with the fin on the top right here, and it has a slot all the way through it that will align with the barrel itself. That's self-explanatory. From there, all the pieces that are left are just decorative. There's these two ridge sections right here. They are just copies of each other. One of them slightly extended to be compatible with one of the pictures I found, and then this piece, which is just what seems to be a barrel cover for the front. But like I said, just a barrel cover, nothing more. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Now there are no movable parts on this gun. The grip itself has a trigger sculpted into it, as you can see. The trigger is actually stuck inside. Let me just, there we go. So that's pre-sculpted into it. The dial on the side is just a bunch of surfaces. Oops, there you go. As you can see, they are individual meshes that were all combined into one single mesh, so nothing is actually overlapping. Everything is actually overlapping, sorry. If you actually go to the STL files though, everything is actually considered one piece. It's going to take some time to open, but all of these individual segments are actually considered part of the main one. As you can see right here, oh, this is not actually the right one. I have to change that, but don't worry. But yeah, once exported, they will become pretty much one single thing. And that's pretty much it for this. The gun itself I made it up to be 27 centimeters from the complete back of the gun to the front of the barrel. It turns out 27.6 or 70 centimeters, quite large gun. And if you enjoyed this, I suggest you go to my Patreon. Like I said at the start of the video, this is available on my Patreon for download. It's set to my $5 reward pledge, so if you want this, you must be a $5 patron. But if you don't, you just want to see my papercraft models, those are all set to the $2 patron, so you can go check them out. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video.